Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. I've got a couple of guitars I'd like to talk about today, but first, if you checked out the episode 2 nights ago, remember those $20,000 prototypes? They're not on the demo shop anymore. But did somebody actually buy them? That's where things get interesting. No, they did not sell on Reverb, which means this was probably an inside sale that didn't happen on Reverb. Meaning it was either a Gibson employee who bought them internally, or somebody close to the factory, or they decided to pull them down off a sale. Who knows? But fun to speculate about anyways. But today, to kick things off, I wanted to share this beautiful collection that is up for the taking for a relatively fair price of the rare Abalone Gibson Les Paul Customs. These things right here kind of have a special place in my heart because it was 2018 when I started to actually pay attention to brand new guitars. And it was this video right here that got pretty popular on my channel. But the Abalone Sparkle is one of those bucket list guitars that I want to review. What makes them special is they were offered in unique colors. So right here we have a collection of 4 of them. Unfortunately, it's not a complete set. They're missing the green one. But what makes these interesting is all within the name, Abalone Sparkle. Sparkle because, hey, these finishes are sparkly. We're not talking just metallic paint jobs. They also have that, but on top of the metallic color changing nature, they've got these sparkles on them, and it's more like a glitter sparkle, not like Sparkle Top Gibson Les Paul Deluxe. And some of these colors actually look pretty darn cool. From the photos, the white one, I could see the appeal to that. I bet that thing looks fantastic in person. It just doesn't photograph well because, hey, you can't really see the sparkles going on. But why gray? If I think of a gray guitar, the last thing I think of doing is adding sparkles to it. But looking at it from this angle, I think it's pretty safe to say it's the worst looking one of the entire series. So maybe there's actually an ugly duckling appeal to that. Kind of makes me feel sorry for it. That's why I would want to buy that one. But that lavender sparkle is where it is at. The blue one is also fantastic. And I bet the green sparkle would definitely come to life and match the Abalone. But that brings us to the second unique spec. The headstock face is also Abalone. These are not unique to this exact guitar. There's certain fancy high-end guitars that Gibson occasionally does that gets this, but on a Les Paul Custom, normally mother of pearl, so that makes it different. On top of that, they went for really high-end Abalone for these inlays. Like sometimes you'll get the Abalone and it'll just have a little bit of color variation, but at least from this particular example, they went crazy for that. They found some particularly nice ones, so it kind of stands out a little bit more. But as far as a Les Paul Custom, their specs were actually pretty basic. I mean, these are not historic reissues or anything. They have a Nashville-style bridge. They'll have a maple top, mahogany back with a mahogany neck. The backs were done up in matching finishes. They've got the medallions. This purple one almost has a little bit of a widowed effect going on, where it's like a light purple binding. Whereas this one, it might be slightly grayed over. It's kind of hard to tell from the seller's photos, but you can definitely tell that purple one. These first hit the website January 31st of 2018, and the brand new price was $5,000. So asking $20,000 plus $260 shipping, he's asking the brand new price for these. But he has an almost complete collection. I don't know, if I was this guy, I would wait for the green sparkle to show up and then purchase it. And since they were kind of a limited edition run, they are kind of cool. I could see them appreciating in value. And I have not seen many of these come up used. I've only seen this one, and it ended up selling for $4,000. So there's definitely a premium to his asking price, and I hope to one day document the purple lavender sparkle one, because that's a beautiful guitar. It matches well with the Abalone. But I'll put a link in the description if you'd like to check that collection out. Next up is this one. I think I've alluded to this one twice now. This is the best Murphy Labs heavy aged guitar that I've seen show up onto the market. And this was likely a custom order because this is not one of the ones that they have within their offering. This is a 57 reissue Les Paul Custom, but instead of having the 3 pickups with gold hardware like you can get, this one was done up with nickel and only has 2 pickups, and it is absolutely fantastic looking. As far as an aged relic goes, this looks pretty convincing to me. I mean, sometimes it looks good in photos, but not necessarily in person, but I think this one, this is a fantastic job. Like, this looks realistic enough to me. They've got the wavy pattern finish checking going on, but yet it's not the same pattern just over and over and over and over again, which is sometimes the pitfall of a relicking job. Like, they're going to be similar, like there's a few similar areas, but it's varied up. It's very conceivable to think that you would have some scratches, nicks, and dings right here from playing, some scratches here from your pick. If you really like hammering over your pick guard right here, I guess you could lose some finish. I don't think anybody's really going to confuse this particular one with, a vintage original. There's still a certain relic vibe to it, but if you enjoy relic guitars, I would say this is one of the best ones that I've seen. And how much is this guy? $11,000, but he is open to offers. The closest thing on Gibson's website would be this one. It's $7,199, but that's a light aged. So they're definitely asking a premium for that one, even after the aging markup. And the last one that I want to talk about today is a big old pirate guitar. Take a look at this headstock. This is the leading photo, and if we're looking at something like this, you know it's from the acoustic room. He's got a very unique photo style, and he carries specific high-end guitars. So take a look at this headstock. First off, we get the old Gibson pre-war style, but it seems to be much larger than normal, so that kind of catches you off guard. Then you got this giant skull and crossbones inlay. Even though they have the typical lines around the bones, it just kind of looks like a shadow on them. That's pretty cool. And I like these fancy tuners. They leave a very small footprint on the headstock, letting this kind of stand out. And once you get that full body shot, that's when you can see, hey, we even have a fancy truss rod cover on this thing. So what's the body look like? What even is this? If you look at the strings, it tells you it's some sort of an acoustic. This is a J200. Now the front, it's a little bit lackluster in my opinion. They've got the cool multi-layers of binding going along here, not only just on the outside rim, but also inlaid in the center right there. And you got kind of a cool pickguard here with a pirate ship and some clouds and the moon and or the sun, depending on when this thing is sailing. I would guess the moon based on the dark waters right here. So I think that's kind of the symbolism they were going for here. But you've got some abalone inlay right here and a mustachioed bridge. And hey, take a look at the rosette around the sound hole and extra binding with your fancy ending right there. And abalone inlay as well on the fretboard. But besides the cool headstock, where this thing really comes to life for me is the back. That is beautiful. Once again, you got those dark watery waves. You're sailing at night. This piece tells a story, and I bet it would look great in person. And the side profile view is not half bad either. But let's see what the neck is made out of. Unfortunately, it does not look like we have a good close-up of the neck, but that also appears to be 3-piece maple with the walnut center stripe. It seems to have a little bit more of a tighter flame to it, whereas this is, kind of a mix between a flame and a quilt. I think that's kind of why I like it. More so flamey, but getting slightly towards the quilty territory. But hey, it looks like we're going to get some close-ups on the pickguard here. That has a lot of detail on it for an inlay. I like the look of that. Oh, and those clouds look great when you catch it at a different angle. Sometimes for these fancy art pieces, you really got to see them in person to appreciate them. Because like this angle, it looks like mother of pearl. But at this angle, you can tell it's got a whole bunch of other colors into it. But back here, we can see this one was created in 2005 by the great Ren Ferguson. So this is actually a rather old piece. And that's the thing about these older art guitars. You start to see some of the aging on them. Like this line right here is just the seam line of the neck starting to show. Which unfortunately, there's really not a way to prevent that from happening. It just kind of happens over the ages. And some collectors will be very picky about that and not want to buy it because of small reasons like that. But how much does this one cost? Put your guess in the comment section below. Now let's find out if you're right. $30,000. But it appears he's got a whole bunch of watchers and did have one offer. Now, whether that's just a time waster offering him $1 or a serious offer, I guess we won't know. But it is still available if you need an art piece in your life and need an SJ200 with the pirate theme. Alright, troglodytes, thank you for tuning in today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.